Hey, good morning, you guys. For this video, I just kind of wanted to walk you through the Giver Compare and Contrast essay, including the planning worksheet, because usually we have a lot of time in class to discuss this, and now we don't. So let's first take a look at the essay itself. It's the first thing on the list, the Giver Compare and Contrast essay. We need to figure out what the essay is about before I ask you to plan for it. You'll open a document that's like this. Now, I've broken it down into some headings and things like that, so we'll only talk about the first three together. So for this essay, you'll be comparing and contrasting the people and places in the three texts that we've read for this unit. So Nothing to Envy about North Korea, the book The Giver, and the play A Thousand Paper Cranes that you should have read on Tuesday. So your essay will have to include at least 6 paragraphs because these 6 paragraphs will add up to be 400 words or more. Actually, pretty easy to do with 6 paragraphs. The essay can be typed on pages or in Google Docs so you can access them from home or without Wi-Fi. So your essay should include a title and be no more than size 12 font, and you're going to submit this to Canvas. Sharing your Google Doc with me is not submitting. So now what are you even writing about? So I've got questions for each paragraph. The prompt is just how do the three texts compare and contrast each other? We'll need to organize our essay to answer the following questions. They can be organized in their own paragraphs or multiple paragraphs. I asked for 6 because even if you did one question per paragraph, you would still need an introductory line and a closing paragraph. These right here are the 4 questions you'll be writing about, and they get kind of particular. First one, contrast the differences. One, compare the similarities. How do the characters' lives look? So use one quote to support your answer for Jonas. So you're going to be comparing and contrasting their societies, their families, what they do with their lives, but you're going to see that there's a lot of differences for Jonas. So we will use one quote from the book to support our answer for Jonas. The next one, compare the similarities between how did Changbo and Jonas fight back? So use at least one quote to support your answer for Changbo. Both of these characters disagree with their environment and decide to fight back in little ways. So Changbo can't really fight back the same way as Jonas can. So that's why we're going to use at least one quote to support our answer for Changbo. Next one, we're going to contrast the differences. How does Jonas and Sadako deal with the tragic history of their country? Consider how Jonas and Sadako learn about their history as well and use at least one quote to support your answer for Sadako. Now, I'll go ahead and give you a hint in this video. If you're watching for hints, here they are. Where you're going to be looking at that point in A Thousand Paper Cranes where Sadako learns that her grandmother died in the bombing. So around lines 90 through 95, on page 15, you'll find Sadako learning about her history. You'll also see Sadako learning about her history when her grandmother has already taken her to the spirit world to meet all the other spirits who died during the bombing. Now, Jonas, you're really just going to think about how he gets the memories. So how do they deal with the history of their country? Jonas seems to take the hard things a little hard. Sadako seems to take things, I don't know if she takes them positively, but she doesn't freak out and cry and scream like Jonas does. Compare the similarities, this last question. Compare the similarities. What gave all 3 characters hope in the face of their past history and current lives? So what kept the characters pursuing a better life? What kept them going? Use at least one quote to support your answer for all 3 characters. You'll notice that they are similar. So I'm telling you that they all have the similar reasons to want for a better life, to hope for something better. And I need a quote from each. In this first paragraph, where I want a quote from the book, The Giver, you'll have to either copy and paste or type it out. Same thing here. For this second paragraph, I need one quote to support our answer for Changbo. That's going to come from Nothing to Envy. This one is going to come from A Thousand Paper Cranes. And the last one, I'll need one for each. So, in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will need 6 quotes for your essay. 6 quotes means 6 things directly from the book. Down here, I do give you a hint how I want that to look. Please make sure we're using quotation marks, because if you put the words that you typed out from the story but without quotation marks around it, I'm not really sure if that's you talking or if that's the book talking. So our planning worksheet. Our planning worksheet I have linked in Canvas as well in a couple different ways. Your planning worksheet, you can either click on it and open the Google Doc, or you can just open the PDF and then decide to draw it yourself. If you decide to draw it yourself, that's fine. So you would just draw these squares on your paper and go from there. Let's do one of these together. Let's just do really quickly number 1. So number 1, we're comparing all of the characters together, and you see this box is just for things about Changbo, this box is just for things about Jonas, and this box is just for things about Sadako. Okay, what am I writing about again? I forget already. Question 1. How do the characters' lives look? Use one quote to support your answer for Jonas. Okay, how do their lives look? Okay. Well, Giver, he's got parents. And I would guess, I just copied and pasted that. Sadako has parents too. No, I can't add another text box. I'll know what I'll do. That's smart. Both Changbo and Jonas can't choose their job. And I guess one big similarity between all of them is they really can't help where they were born. Right? So, Changbo can't help that he is stuck in a regime that controls everything that he does. Neither can Jonas, and neither can Sadako. Her past has already been laid out for them. Ooh, that's another one. They're affected. Let's do this. So we can see the similarities between most of them, and we can tell that they can't help where they were born. They have to deal with those consequences. Now, I think the last thing that I'll help you with is, let's make sure, use one quote to support your answer for Jonas. If I talk about this in a sentence, well, these two people have parents. Changbo is an adult and he can't rely on anyone else. These two can't choose their jobs. These are affected by the past without them having to, they didn't cause it, but they are still affected by it. Blah, blah, blah. One of these items has to be supported by textual evidence, or this one too. So when I talk about how Jonas has parents, I could pull in the fact that yes, he has parents, but I guess that's one of the differences. He's got parents that don't love him. That's sad. So Jonas has parents, but they don't love him. Sadako has parents and they love her. Okay, that's nice. Or not nice if you're Jonas. Using a textual evidence to support one of these sentences is going to be important. If you've scrolled all the way to the bottom of this document, you'll see the grading specifics, how I'm grading it. So your answers, if you've given some good references, if you've given me support choices, and then how understandable your writing is, if there are no errors or if there are so many errors that reading is difficult. And then here at the bottom, I've given you a sample paragraph. I'm not talking about the books or anything. I am now talking about fruit and how fruit can be compared. Little hints down here. The biggest issue I want to make sure I take care of before you write is that you're actually comparing and contrasting. You're not just talking about the book, you're actually putting the two characters or their two lives or three lives together. Does this make sense? If you have any questions, again, the best way to reach me is at my Gmail, my school Gmail for the school, and I can answer questions. Now, if I had this all done, I would either save it as my copy, or I could just take screenshots, like, and I would submit these to Canvas. You will have two things to submit if you look in assignments. Yes, this says English 8, but everything is the same. I want your essay, the giver, compare, and contrast essay, and the worksheet. Do not forget to submit the worksheet, okay? Everything is due March 31st, so the last minute of the month, March. So you have about a week and a half yet still to work. Again, best way to contact me is through Gmail, school Gmail, and I can get back with you whenever I can. Any questions? Oh, I'm sorry, that was a reflex. Right. All right. I'm gonna go walk my dog. You guys, I got a new dog. Well, it's not really mine. The Michiana Humane Society and SPCA actually had to close because they had confirmed cases near them and they just wanted to get all the animals out into foster homes. So I'm fostering a dog named Muggsy. He is 13 years old. He's a little grandpa and he needs his walk right now. So I'll talk to you guys later.